So today now we are in Narada Bhakti Sutra. We're in chapter 3, section 2. And we're going to start with Sutra number 38. So where are we in this, before this, what did we see? We saw that Naraji is giving us aids to Bhakti. Again, means to develop Bhakti. So first he said that the first one is Vishayatyaga and Sangatyaga. So renunciation of sense objects, but also renunciation of attachments to people. So he said this has to be renounced. Then he said another means is continuous and tender loving service to Bhagavan. Continuous and tender service or loving or worshipping of Bhagavan. And we saw that in Sutra 36, Avyavritta Bhajanat. Then he said also hearing and singing the glories of Bhagavan. So we saw that in verse 37. So now he says, now I'm going to tell you what is a really, really great way to gain bhakti. So Vishayatyaga, Sangatyaga, then we have Avyavritta Bhajanat, centering our lives in Bhagavan. Then we have hearing his name, singing his glories. In Sutra 38, he says, Mukyatastu Mahatkripa Yeva Bhagavat Kripale Shadva. So he says Mukyaha. Mukyaha means primarily tu. Tu is like indeed, primarily I'm going to give you this great means to develop bhakti. Mahat Kripaya. He says it's through the grace, Kripaya, the grace of Mahat. Mahat means Mahatmas, of great beings. And Bhagavat Kripa Leshad, or Leshad, just even a tiny bit of the grace of Bhagavan. So primarily, it is gained through the grace of great souls or through a little of divine grace. So first, let's think about who is a Mahatma, right? We hear these words very often, Mahatma. And when we go to certain places, people want to see Mahatma. People love to go to Bharat and they want to know where is a Mahatma, where is a Mahatma residing? Who is a Mahatma? Mahan Atma, one who has a great, great big heart. Means their heart encompasses all beings. And here, there is a very beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. So there are many definitions of the Mahatma, but here we will look at this one verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, it says here, Titikshavaha. Titikshavaha, one who has endurance. Karunika, who is compassionate. Suhridaha, who is a friend to all. Sarvadehinam, so a friend to all. Ajata Shatravaha, who has no enemies. Shantaha, serene. Sadhavaha, those who are sadhus. These are sadhu bhushanas. These are ornaments of a sadhu. So let's look at these words, one by one. Titikshavaha karunikaha. So the Mahatma, when they're going through pain, means their body's going through pain, or mind's going through pain, whatever is going through pain, they have a great sense of endurance, titiksha. So they can bear this pain, and many times we don't even know the kinds of pains that they go through. We don't even know what is going through their minds or through their bodies. I remember for Puja Gurudev, at one time, the doctor said he can't speak. He's not supposed to speak for more than 30 minutes or so. But yet, he still continued his jnana yajnas. He still continued. And organizers told them that, organizers told all the people, let's not have any cultural programs or anything like that, because Gurudev, he cannot speak, he cannot stay on stage for so long. But Gurudev knew that there was a special cultural program planned, and the children and the teachers worked so hard. So he said, don't cancel it. Don't cancel it. I will go. I will watch. And in between, when there's a break, he goes to the backstage and he takes some oxygen, because he's not able to stay so long without the support of oxygen. But nobody knows this. People don't see this. They don't speak about this. But for themselves, they endure all kinds of pain, all kinds of things. But yet for other people, karunika, very, very compassionate. So if somebody says they're in pain, this Mahatma will sit down, look into their eyes and feel that pain with them. Feel what they're going through. They're not going to say, oh, you are Atma, you are untouched and all of that. They will feel that person's pain. It's said in Sri Ramcharitmanas, who is a Suhrit? The next word is Suhrit, Sarvadehinam, one who's a friend to all. The one who sees their troubles as sand, but their friend's troubles as a mountain. That is called a friend. Huh? So one who sees their trouble, anything troubling them, it's sand. But something is troubling my friend, then it's a mountain. It's a whole big mountain. This is how Mahatmas are. So to themselves, titikshavah, they bear everything. And they won't say also. They won't speak also. And to others, karunika, very compassionate. So many times, we go to such Mahatmas and we tell them all of our troubles and everything. And we feel like it's such a big thing. But God knows only what they've been through and how many hardships they've been through. And then Ajata Shatravaha. Ajata Shatravaha means no enmity. Means they don't see any enmity with anybody, because they understand that everybody is part of this play. In Shantaha. Somebody asked now, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi ji, how do you know if you've sat or you've been in front of a Mahatma? Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi ji said, in their presence, do you feel silence? Do you feel silence? Do you feel peace? These are the ones who in their presence, and even long after they're gone, we feel peace. There's samadhi stalls, the place where they lived. Even long after they're gone, you sit there and you just feel peace. We have to wonder how much peace was there in that Mahatma, that even if the physical body is not there, still there's a strong, deep sense of it. And sadhava, they are sadhus. They are simple living, high thinking. As Swami Tapovan Maharaj says, they're not extravagant and demanding so much and wanting so much. Very, very simple sadhu, very austere. This is called a Mahatma, Mahanatma, somebody who's very, very large-hearted. And so through a Mahatma or through Bhagavan, now we all know who Bhagavan is, right? Bhagavan is that same consciousness that's associated with the total gross body, subtle body, causal body. That is Bhagavan. But Bhagavan, when that is intellectually we understand that is who Bhagavan is. But who is really Bhagavan? That antaryami in our own heart. Bhagavan is known as antaryami. Sometimes people say, oh, I haven't met a Mahatma. I don't have a guru. Who will I go to? Where will I get one? And Gurudev says in the commentary, such people who go out looking for Mahatmas, they don't find. Because what we're supposed to do is to prepare ourselves, purify ourselves, so that that very Guru, that very Bhagavan within reveals itself to us. So that Bhagavan is called Antaryami. when we purify ourselves to a certain extent, that God's voice becomes loud and our voice becomes soft. That is how we know that we're in touch with God, because our voice becomes very soft, almost like we don't hear it anymore. And Bhagavan's voice becomes very loud. Everything is Bhagavan's voice only. So through the kripa, this Bhagavan of Guru, Guru is none other than Bhagavan, Bhagavan is none other than Guru. Through their grace, we get that bhakti. Now, what is this kripa or grace? Now, so many people have so many different definitions of grace. And we feel like when the impossible becomes possible, then it's grace. You know, I was in deep, deep trouble and I don't know how things worked out. It just worked out and it was just all divine grace. So we feel that when we have these moments, there's grace. But actually, grace is there all the time. Grace is there all the time. We feel also that when we get what we want, it's God's grace. But when we don't get what we want, it's God's will. When we don't get what we want, that's also grace. That's also grace. That grace is actually there all the time. All the time. It's not there sometimes. It's there all the time. So the first thing about grace is it's intangible. We cannot see it. It's the unseen hand of God. The second thing is that it's not there sometimes. It's there all the time. It's like rain. It's there. It's raining. It's constantly raining with grace. And not only that, but this grace is impartial. It's not only Bhagavan's grace comes to some people and not to others. It's constantly raining with grace. But you know, some places there's fertile soil. Some places there's just a slab of stone. So in the places where there's a slab of stone, nothing will happen. Nothing will just pass through. But in the mud that is fertile, it will blossom and grow. So grace is there, but if it falls on that patra, a proper recipient, then it will express. But if it doesn't, then how can it express? It's not Bhagavan's fault. You know, one Swamiji gave some nice example also. He's like, just think now it's raining, and all of us have these cups. All of us have these cups. Now, some of us put the cups upside down. Some of us put the cups like this. So what will happen? Those of us whose cups are upside down, water will just go in different directions. But those of us who put our cups like this, purify ourselves, all the water will go in. So how can we blame Bhagavan for that? For not having grace? And the fourth point is that grace takes that effort to tune into it. That's all the effort that it takes. Our effort is lifting up that cup and being empty, being fit vessels. This is our effort. And then grace just flows. So later on, he will actually say that the effort in life is just to make ourselves an empty cup, empty vessel, for this grace to flow. So this is how satsang, devotion, bhakti is gained. And when one meets that Mahatma, then so many things can happen. But now, is it easy to meet this Mahatma? So let's see now how one meets a Mahatma. Sutra 39. Mahatsangastu durlabhaha agamyaha agamyaha, amoghascha, amoghascha. So now, you said bhakti is obtained to a grace through the grace of the Mahatma. I want to meet that Mahatma. Where can I meet that Mahatma? Naraji says, wait, Mahat Sangha, to come in contact with a Mahatma, Durlabha. It's very difficult. Very difficult. Durlabha. Agamyaha. It's almost impossible. And Amogha. It's infallible. So now what to do? You are making it so difficult for me to come in contact with a Mahatma. He says, wait, there's a reason. Why is it rare? Why is it Durlabha means difficult to get, but also rare? Rare because, in the Bhagavad Gita, it says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye. So many people, out of so many people, very, very few strive for this self-realization. Very few. There are billions and billions of people in the world, but very few will say, I want to look at what's beyond this world. Completely strive for it. Very few. And they get enthusiastic. Like just right after a retreat or a camp or a yatra, after we read something, we get so enthusiastic. I'm going to walk the path. I'm going to go for it. And we start. But when people start, again, obstacles come. It's said that, or lots of obstacles come on the spiritual path. Not few, lots of obstacles come. And when some obstacles come, some people find it very difficult to deal with. So in the beginning itself, they walk and then they also leave because it's hard. It's hard. There are temptations, there's disturbance, all kinds of things. Then fewer will still walk. They'll keep going. And they'll get halfway. But the obstacles are too much. But they also wean away. Fewer will go completely to the end. And after the end, I don't want any more. I'm done. Enough. They also go. They also leave. Fewest will stay till the end, remain there, and remain ever abiding in that. That is called Mahatma. The very, very few who go and persist until the end, no matter what, and stay there, remain there, and become a beaming example for others to follow. Like with Puja Gurudev, Swami Tapovan Maharaj Ji. So that is why it's Durlabha, because this path is not easy. Kshurasya Dhara, it's like the razor's edge. So to find a true Mahatma, Durlabha. I was just speaking to one of our Swamijis today, and he was telling me about his experience in Rishikesh. And when he used to stay there, he used to go for Bhiksha to Kali Kamali Wala. This place, everybody goes for Bhiksha there. And he said so many people who are not sannyasis, they also used to go because they had no food. They used to wear orange clothes. And so, they used to ask him, Kali Kamali Wala, where are you from? Which ashram are you in? What are you studying? What's your lineage? They used to ask like this. And so this Swamiji wrote to Puja Gurudev that they are asking me all these questions when I go for Bhiksha. And Gurudev wrote him back, that's why I sent you there, to break your abhimana. So you keep going there, So too many are there who pose. But real solid ones, they're Durlabha. Then, what else? Agamyaha. It's impossible. What do you mean impossible? It's impossible for us to recognize them. This is what's impossible. Sometimes Mahatma can be right in front of our face. right in front of our face, and we don't know. I feel like that about Puja Gurudeva. He used to come to Manila. I didn't even know. I was a young child then, but still I should have known. I didn't even know. I didn't even make any effort. I didn't even go to see. So sometimes that Mahatma could be right in front of us, right around us, right near us, but we cannot recognize. There's one beautiful story. You know, there was this man, and he wanted to get a job for Morse code. That those days they used to have this Morse code thing where you hear a certain sound or a certain pattern of sounds, and you can figure out what exactly they're trying to say. So he wanted to get a job in this position, and many people wanted to get a job. So the job interview time was 5 o'clock, and so 5 o'clock, he went there early, 4:30. 4:30 he went there. So many people were there wanting to get the job. And sitting there. Then 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock came. Nothing happened. But nobody came out of the office to call anybody. But one man stood up and he went in the office. He just went in the office. And then 5 minutes later, they opened the office door and the company said he got the job. And everybody was looking at him. What happened? You didn't announce anything. You didn't say anything. At 5 o'clock, somebody goes in and then you say he has the job. What happened was, when all of them were sitting, the Morse code was going. But if you want the job, just get in, open the door and come in at 5 o'clock. And this man heard it. He heard it. Well, it was there. Everybody could have heard it. Huh? But this man heard it. He went and he got the job. So that is what it is. Sometimes these people are all around us, but we're not even pure enough to recognize. This happens also when we read books. Sometimes we're looking for what book to buy, what book to get. We go online, what book? Sometimes that book that is right in our shelf, it is so incredibly deep, but we have not realized its depth. We're still looking outside of the world. So such Mahatmas were there, where they were very simple. Nisargadatta Maharaj Ji was rolling tobacco. Stay there rolling tobacco. Janabai, she's a maid servant in the house of Namdev. Kabir Das Ji, he's just a weaver, just weaving. Ananda Mahima, simple housewife. So sometimes they're in their day-to-day life. They're not in any robes or anything like that. But we are unable to recognize. And that's why Agamya. It's hard to know. Hard to know that this Mahatma is there. Then what else? Amogha. Oh, but when we come in contact with them, it's infallible. There is a definite change in our lives. There is a change for the rest of our life. Even that one moment of contact is enough. In Jivan Mukti Viveka says that there are 3 benefits of a Mahatma. Now, the three different kinds of seekers. So one is called Shishya, disciple. Second is called Bhakta, devotee. Third is called Tatastha. Tatastha is somebody who's standing apart. So for the Shishya, the student, when Shishya sees a Mahatma, what happens? The faith grows and leaps and bounds. Because for us, we are sitting here wondering, is it really possible to live that life that the Bhagavad Gita is saying? To control our senses all the time, to be disciplined. Is it possible to be centered and not disturbed, even if so many things happen? Is it possible to be calm and deeply content, reveling in the self? Is it possible to sit still for hours and hours. These things we wonder, could people really do it? But when we meet a Mahatma, all doubts fall. Because we see a living person who's doing exactly those things. And then we are stunned. And we say, yes, it's true. It's very, very true. So for the Shishya, this Mahatma gives Shraddha, increases the faith. Also for Shishya, this Mahatma breaks limitations. So for many times, the Shishyas, the students feel, I'm walking the spiritual path and I'm doing okay. I'm doing japa, or I'm doing some spiritual practice. I'm waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm, fasting maybe once every 6 months. And I may be doing my sadhana maybe thrice a week. I think I'm doing okay. No. When we meet the Mahatma, we realize how less we're doing, how much more we should be doing, how we think that we're there. Definitely not there. Not there. That Mahatma, by their own presence, will tell us we need to do more sadhana. We need to be more disciplined. We need to root ourselves in this jnana. So that Mahatma, just by being there, makes us aware of our own limitations, because in the spiritual path, we tend to become complacent and we tend to think this is okay, but it's not. So for a Shishya, for a Bhakta, let us say somebody is not really in line with the teachings of the Mahatma, not listening to the pravachana or anything like that, but is serving the Mahatma. His Bhakta is just serving the Mahatma. Something is drawing them to the Mahatma, that whatever they're volunteering, they're doing something. What happens to that Bhakta? They get all the punya or the merits of the Mahatma. So, whenever Puja Gurudev went places, or even Puja Guruji, those who are with them, they get all the benefits, right? It's so funny today when we say, we are with Chinmaya mission. Oh, they treat us very nicely, not because of who we are, but because of Puja Gurudev, of Swami Tapovan Maharaj, of their austerity. Oh, you're from Chinmaya mission. Okay, we are able to get a place to stay. We're able to get some decent food, but not on our own merit. It is all on the punya of such Mahatmas. So even today, it is their punya, it is their austerity, it's their tapasya that blesses us. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. It's their tapasya that we are able to go to such ashrams, we are able to listen to such talks or discourses, read such books, gain access or to have the ability to even do seva. How wonderful, they've given us a field to do such seva, to purify ourselves. So even the Bhakta who's not even associated with the teachings of the Mahatma, even that Bhakta gets that benefit. That's why for the Mahatma's plate, when they finish eating, everybody wants the prasad. Everybody wants that prasad. Everyone's grabbing for that prasad because they just want the punya of that Mahatma. The Mahatma has done prayer, has offered that prasad. Give me that prasad. And bas, I am done. This is how people feel. Then what else? Tatastha. Tatastha, those who are standing apart, they might be curious. First, I also was like this. Oh, why is everybody bowing down to that Mahatma? What's so great about that Mahatma? Why is everybody going there? I don't know about this Mahatma. Oh, is it? So from the side, you're just a little bit curious. And you also don't think about it. Don't go, don't bow down, don't do anything. Just questioning. Oh, but even for those who are just there standing by, something we get. We don't even know what it is, but we get. Like we watched Puja Gurudev meeting Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi Ji for the first time. He said something was there when he looked at me. Gurudev didn't know. He just, everybody said, Arunachala, there is a Mahatma, there you go. He went. He didn't even know. Something is there, something we get. And that's why when we're young, when any Mahatma comes or spiritual person comes, our parents push us, whoa, sit there. We don't know what we're doing there. We don't know why we're there. Go sit there. But we just sit there because something goes, something comes in, whatever it is. And this is what happens when we meet a Mahatma. So even Tatastha. When I was in Portland, I think I mentioned this, I'd gone to Portland. And one of the, he's one of the Setukaris, one of the youth, he came up to me. And he said, I don't know if I understood what happened in satsang, but I can tell you one thing. I was away from dusang. My mind was away from not doing, my mind was not doing all these nonsense things. It was away from all of that. So that is what I got. And that is also very beautiful. At least for that point in time, when we're with the Mahatma, our mind is away from all of the rush and disturbance and anxiety and all of that from that. It is just with God. So this is how Bhakti is gained. Bhakti is gained through Mahat Kripa, grace of Mahatma, the grace of Bhagavan, your Antaryami. It is, and it is hard not because it's hard, but because it's rare. These Mahatmas are rare. And it is impossible, not that it's impossible, but because we're not so tuned to it. But when we're attuned to it, then we will be able to recognize the greatness of someone. And it is infallible because no matter who comes in contact with that Mahatma, change will happen. So let us stop here.